This week on Fantastic Realm, we find out what's been going on in the Green Lantern Corps. We've got indie comic action in the shape of Scott Pilgrim. War Machine and Iron Man go toe to toe in the Invincible Iron Man, and we check out brand new Batman in Batman Battle for the Cowl. Come on, let's do it. Last week I promised you we'd have a look at the Scott Pilgrim series. This is volume number 3. Volume 5 has just hit the shelves, and because it doesn't normally come up on the new comic book shelf, it's one that we've kind of missed over the last few months, and it's one that if you haven't seen, you really ought to check out. It's just a really great little book. It's written by a Canadian guy called Brian Lee O'Malley, who draws it as well. And whilst the style of the art is kind of low res, it is incredibly charming. This is a quirky story and a quirky kind of property with loads of kind of interesting pop cultural references that lots of things that you'll kind of recognize and remember. Scott Pilgrim, we joined the character in the first book. He's 23, he's a bit of a slacker. He plays in a band called Sex Bob-omb, which named after the Mario thing, and it's just such a cool little book, and it's one of these things that is going to be humongously popular over the next year or so when more details and more information about the film start to surface and the whole kind of promotional machine for that kicks into gear. So be one of the first people, be one of those people that knew about it when it was only geeks who read the actual books who knew. Scott Pilgrim, volume 5's out now, and we can highly recommend it. So if you're one of the big 2 comic companies, every once in a while you've got to kind of shake things up a little bit. If you're Marvel, you go Dark Reign route. You make all your bad guys the good guys and put all your good guys on the run. If you're DC, basically you seem to get rid of all of your good guys and see what happens to your universe then. And that's where this book comes in, Batman Battle for the Cowl. This is a 3-part mini-series, the first issue. Now, what we've got here is a really good Bat story. Even though the Batman isn't in it, he looms large in every page. It's basically everything that everybody's doing here is motivated either by their loyalty to the Batman or their newfound freedom in the wake of the Batman's absence. This is great stuff. Looks like this whole Battle for the Cowl, Batman not being there, period in the DC universe is actually going to be a very, very good one. And though whilst it took us a while, kind of ponderous and poetic type of stuff in Batman RIP got us to this point, what we've actually got is some really cracking storytelling going on in the wake of all of that. So if you lost kind of patience with Batman RIP or during Final Crisis, this may well be a time to jump back in. This is Batman Battle for the Cowl, issue number 1, on your shelves this week. After the onslaught that has been the start of Dark Reign, we have a week where only one book branded that way is out, the Invincible Iron Man number 11. This is the big battle between War Machine and Iron Man, but all is not as it seems. This is a great run on this book at the moment. Matt Fraction is providing top scripts, and the art is beautiful on these books at the moment. I like what they're doing with Iron Man by kind of he had everything, they've taken it all away, and how does he cope? He still remains optimistic, he still wants to fight back, he still feels like he's got a mission. He hasn't been broken by losing everything, and it's a hopeful story in these difficult economic times, whatever. It's just great reading, so make sure you check this one out. Invincible Iron Man number 11 on your shelves this week. They've been trailing this Blackest Night thing for a while, and whilst we're not quite there yet, it's getting more and more exciting as the tension builds. This is Green Lantern Corps 34, setting us up for this big DC event, Blackest Night. And what we've got here is Peter J. Tomasi kind of building on all of the stuff that's been going on in the Green Lantern Corps over the last few months. However, if you're a new reader to this, it's going to be really hard to follow what's going on just from this book, and you may well need to grab yourselves a few back issues. But this is great fun. If you give it the time and the commitment that it deserves, you'll find that this is cracking storytelling. Issue number 34 of the Green Lantern Corps is out this week, and you should check it out if you get a chance. It's another great week for comics with loads of good stuff hitting your shelves, some of which includes Action Comics number 875, giving us our first taste of a world without Superman. The very excellent Adam, Legend of the Blue Marvel, concludes this week with issue number 5 of 5. Stephen King fans will be glad to hear that the new arc of The Stand has started. American Nightmares Part 1 of 5 hits the shelves. Captain Britain and MI13 continues with issue number 11. The very grim and gritty Walking Dead continues in issue number 59. People who are enjoying the Marvel Compendium Astonishing Tales will be glad to know issue 2 hits your shelves this week. Jason Aaron's awesome Scalped hits issue number 26 this week on Vertigo Comics. Max Comics released Frank Castle The Punisher number 68 this week. David Lapham's Young Liars issue 13 Rock Life is out on Vertigo, as is DC's issue 56 of Superman Batman. There's a brand new comic, Resident Evil hits number 1 this week. Angel continues in Blood and Trenches, the first issue of that, and Fables number 82 starts off this week as well. Loads of great stuff. That's about all we've got time for this week on Fantastic Realm. We've seen all your comments wanting a shop tour, and we'll start working on that video real soon. For the meantime though, make sure you keep leaving us comments, rating us and telling your friends, and we'll catch you next week for another dose of upfront comic action. You can buy any of the books we reviewed at fantasticrealm.co.uk, and don't forget to quote the code FAN1 to get yourself a 10% discount. You can also check us out at our eBay store and see more videos, or join our online communities at Facebook, MySpace and YouTube. We've now launched the Fantastic Realm video podcast on iTunes, so feel free to add a comment about this video below, and don't forget you can drop by the store to check out what we've got in stock.